Hi, I'm Brandon. I love Up TV Christmas movies.
I'm Dan. I despise Up TV Christmas movies.
I'm Alonso, and whether the weather be cold or whether the weather be hot, we'll be together whatever the weather, whether we like it or not. And this
is
the Deck the Hallmark podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast. Brandon and friends host his podcast. We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Gotta be honest, Alonso, I didn't know what you were doing, and I was worried you were having a stroke. Like, oh no, he's gotten stuck in a cycle.
Like, have you guys watched Only Murders in the Building? Have you
I was
watched
in the White Room.
Yeah, that's what I thought was happening.
That
Which of
is
the
a
pick,
vocal.
that whole
Which of
thing?
the Vic triplets did it? No, that's a vocal warm-up exercise that they teach you in theater.
Speaking of theater,
I love the White Room episode, by the way. For anybody,
Yeah,
I was
great
all
stuff.
in on it. Steve Martin crushed it. Sorry. go ahead.
before we started here, I found out that Rig is apparently an actor, and he's a part of the union.
Oh yeah, baby. Of course.
How's that going?
Heck no, we won't go.
How's that going for you?
Well, it's going great because we're not stopping until we get what we're asking for.
But you're here. Where are you striking?
I just picked up a couple of roles on some shows.
You
Bringing
did?
back the OC, and I'm on it.
Not during the strike.
No. I had just signed it. I'm going to be the Peter Gallagher character on the OC.
Okay.
He picked up a couple of roles. He means Parker House.
Yeah. I picked up some roles like to eat as well. They're pretty good. But I picked up some roles on the side. I got a great headshot. You can see that on the website.
Yeah. Well,
It's right when you go to deckthehallmark.com, it'll just pop up immediately.
Be your headshot.
I'm cooking food for everybody on strike.
You are?
Yeah, I am on my 4 for 2. I'm flinging and flipping.
Does the 4 for
ducking
2
and
help
dodging.
you cook more
Well, yeah,
at
it's
once?
4 for 2, Brian. I don't know. You could do a little bit of math. Grab your
Is it
abacus.
faster?
Is it faster?
Yeah, it's faster. You can cook more things in more time.
You can cook
I'm slow
4
roasting.
things?
I'm slow more things.
No,
and
I'm
more
just-
times. I'm slow roasting. I'm slow roasting on one side. The other side, I'm just grilling some hot dog weenies. And I'm
Wait.
searing some burgers.
Depending on you can have different temperatures.
Look, listen.
Hot dog weenies?
Hot dog weenies. You got it.
Hot dog wings. What were you going to say?
What's the problem there?
I thought it was a little redundant, repetitive, but what do I know?
Redundant and repetitive. All right, all right, big guy. Yeah.
Wow.
I got to get back to striking, everybody.
Don't you? All right.
Well, stay strong.
Stay strong, writers and actors.
We stand with you.
I will say this. I have been pro writer and actor, but I do not want to see a remake of The OC with Rig as Peter Gallagher. So I'm starting to wane in my fervor for the actors at this point.
Agree to disagree.
I mean, would watch. I'm not going to lie.
No, absolutely. We're talking about The Snowball Effect, which is a movie that aired on Up TV. It premiered, and I went to multiple sources because I couldn't believe this. It premiered on Christmas Eve of 2022.
Wow.
They premiered it. They said, new movie, new tradition. You know how everybody has their new...
The
everyone's
night
looking.
that everybody's tuning in.
That's right.
That's right.
2022, Christmas Eve. How about that? And it went a little something like this. The movie kicks off with 2 different meteorologists talking about a massive snowstorm that is coming to town. It is 2 separate storms that are colliding to create a superstorm known in the business as... Superstorm.
Yeah, you got it.
What did I say?
Superstorm.
Yeah, that too. Known in the business as the Snowball Effect. Thank you.
We did it. Merry Christmas. Thank the Hallmark's Bramble Jam podcast.
Tara is talking about Tara's talking to her assistant, I believe. I'm not really sure but they're talking about ratings, and she's annoyed that her rival Sam is getting better ratings than her despite not being as accurate as she is. And when Sam finds out, when Tara finds out that there's a new meteorology job open down in Boston for the whole Northeast, she makes a call to try to get an interview, but then she sees Sam, and he's also trying to get the same job. Dang it, Sam Parrish! She gets a call at 2:40 a.m., and it's from the Northeast News. They are interested in having her come to Boston tomorrow for an interview. So she's on her way. She's got her GPS up and running, taking her to Boston, but the snowball effect is already in full effect. The snow is coming, and they are beginning to close roads ahead of the storm to try to make sure that everybody stays safe. And so the GPS is like, this road's closed, and she's just like, I'm just going to ignore it and go where I know I'm supposed to go because I'm a meteorologist and I know the storm's not coming yet. And so she goes, and she is immediately stopped and told that she has to go hunker down. There's an inn right up the road. Head there. When she gets there, guess who is also there? It's Sam Parrish. The owner of the inn explains that the inn is closed, despite it being Christmas time and it being called the Mistletoe Inn, and but they are able to stay in this like cabin that is adjacent to the inn, and so they get a call from the station, and they explain that they're snowed in, and so they are told to put together some sort of package and send it to them, and they will look at both of them and then make a decision from there, and I guess in lieu of interview. So she gets to work, but Sam gets distracted by all the Christmas decorations that he finds in the basement. They're like, why are all these Christmas decorations in the basement of a Mistletoe Inn? It doesn't make any sense. The snowball effect is happening. The snow is coming down, and the owner explains to them that they don't really do Christmas anymore around here, and
they haven't for years.
And Tara just can't let that go, and so she snowshoes her way into town to the open bar to try to find out what happened to Christmas. And at the bar, they're talking to the guy who's running it. Sam is also there, and they're talking about the town and how they used to do Christmas real big, and then they don't do Christmas anymore. And so they're like, we should throw an underground Christmas party for people in this town that want some Christmas. And so naturally, this is the perfect opportunity for Sam and Tara to go find a building to throw the party at and slow dance to Christmas music. And so Tara decides that she's going to use this story as her main story for her package, and put together something that is enticing and exciting. Like, we can bring Christmas back to the grumpy town, which I don't really know how it's related to the weather, the meteorology, but whatever. So they're working together. They're having fun until they're not having fun. She and Sam get into an argument about whether or not she should worry more about things or just let them happen. That is a big deal here. You can't just not worry. She is thinking about giving up on this story because the caroling's not working, the Christmas cheer's not starting, but then she sees a candle in the window, one single candle, realizing that she's making a difference, albeit a small difference, but a difference. So the next morning she goes to find Sam and says, hey, let's work together to make this party as big as possible. Her assistant then shows up and says, hey, I'm going to put your package together for you. It's going to be great. And then she goes to Sam and is like, hey, I'll put the package together for you as well. The party is a big hit. Then the head honcho from Northeast News comes and is like, I saw your package. It's amazing. And come on, man. And you're better than that. And turns out that the assistant did a joint package. It was it is your fault. It's two packages for the price of one package, and he's like, I've got a crazy idea. What if I hire both of you to do the job together? It's two jobs. It's one job for two people. And they're like, we love this idea. They do kiss. And then we get a little snapshot of what it's like to see two people do a job that's meant for one person. And we love it. And that, my friends, was the Snowball Effect.
We did it.
Yes. Well, hello everybody. We're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna be back and we're gonna talk about Snowball Effect here on Ignore. Sometimes I get stuck.
Yeah, a little bit.
Hello, welcome back. We're talking about the Snowball Effect, the Christmas Eve mega smash hit for Up TV from 2022. We're going to break it down with 4 segments. We're going to start with the hot take. It is where we share exactly how we felt about this movie. We do not hold back. And we're going to start with Alonso, a real film critic who watched this movie. Alonso.
A journalist, if you will.
What'd you think of the Snowball Effect?
Well, it's a real flex to do a movie that is weather-centric with no budget to actually have weather.
It is.
Filmed entirely in Massachusetts, apparently, but not during the winter. And so, there's all this talk about this massive historic storm coming, and then nothing. And this movie is so desperate to try and get some actual snow in there that they put an insert shot of feet in snowshoes walking in snow that we are meant to assume is the leading lady. Do we ever see the rest of the body attached to those feet? We do not.
There's no way that was stock footage.
No.
There's no way.
No, I think like months later, they're like, all right, run outside and we'll shoot some of the foot stuff. And then that'll make it look like it's been snowing the whole time. This was painful and forgettable. Like I was looking at my notes. I watched this one 2 days ago and I was just desperately trying to remember things because it just slid like it was olive oil on a nonstick pan. Just whoop. Yeah, nothing.
It's an interesting movie. I love weather, first of all, so I was intrigued right away. It's interesting because it's taking multiple tropes and combining them. So we have like the two people that aren't a couple having to stay at a cabin.
They're competitors.
And you have also a town that doesn't celebrate Christmas anymore, and somebody is going to come in and try to get them to celebrate Christmas again. And those two storylines are just kind of weird, especially because of the fact that we're supposed to believe that there's a blizzard and that there should be inside. And so I didn't actively hate this, but there was a lot of hurdles even for me to get over to get to the place to where I enjoyed it. And so the snow is downright dreadful in this movie. It's offensive to snow. And that's unfortunate, but I like the two leads fine. I thought there were some fun characters in this movie. The guy who runs the bar is a hoot and a holler. And so
you speak for yourself.
We've seen a lot.
Always.
We've seen some turds on Monday. We've seen some all-time greats. This one is, in my opinion, neither one of those.
Shut your mouth.
So that's where I'm at. Dano?
Listen, you guys know how bad this movie is. I imagine, if you will, you're me, and somehow in my head, I had it that this was a Christmas version of the Butterfly Effect. I don't know why I had that in my head, but in my head, I thought it was. I went back to change one thing that happened, and it made everything else different.
Worse.
And so you know already how bad the movie is. Imagine having that expectation and showing up.
Why did you have that expectation?
I don't know.
That is on you.
Happened.
That's
That was
not fair to them.
No, it's not. It's completely on me. I don't know why I thought it. I don't know what happened, but I thought it. And then typically Brandon and I watched these movies together, and we had to watch them separately this week. And I looked at Brandon and I said, never has a movie that hinges so much on a blizzard cared so little about making you believe that there's a blizzard. And I know that's a wait what, but it is the crux of this film is this giant blizzard that just doesn't exist. It is nowhere. It's a figment of their imagination, and it's brutal.
We have been beaten down over the years to be forgiving about snow.
Yes.
But this movie is promising you so much snow.
That's right.
And delivering so little. Like, they don't even have, like, PAs outside the window going,
No.
Like, nothing. No attempt to make this like a weather event.
There's one point where one of the leads is standing A green screen is nice. Like it might be like a pull down screen. Like it's not a green screen. Like just they pulled down a set screen like on a stage play or so. Like there's a few scenes in this movie we could have made in this office. Like it is really like the snow for a movie about weather, about a blizzard. The lack of the ability, if you're watching on Philo TV right now, there is digital snow in the background between Alonso and Brandon and myself and just kind of fluttering around. That looks more convincing than what we saw on the Snowball effect. I'm not joking. That is not an exaggeration. That actually is the case. The two leads are charismatic. Like I think in better movies, they probably... Like with something to work with, they probably could do something. But there are two or three. You're right, Alonso. This movie, like, there's so much of it that is hard to pay attention to. There are two or three just massive, ginormous wait what's in this movie, and the central one being the blizzard that doesn't exist. And there's two other massive ones in my opinion. But it just is, it's tough. It's tough out there. I applaud you getting a movie together for this budget, and you did it, and pat yourself on the back for getting it done.
It aired on Christmas Eve.
And it aired on, but I just, man, oh boy, it is one of the worst that we've seen on Mondays, in my opinion.
Let's get to all the feels before we talk about what gave us those feels. Alonso, I know you have a bucket full, but try to get it down to one or so.
I had a couple of things that I will qualify as a feel. I laughed when the lady meteorologist is stalking the mayor's house, trying to like suss out some feeling of Christmas, and the whole bit of like her opening the door and yanking the wreath down. I thought that was, that made me chuckle a bit. Y'all talking about the leads having chemistry, but the real chemistry couple here is Sam and Ruben the bar owner.
No doubt.
Oh,
like
yeah.
they click way more than the two weather persons do. And Ruben, I really admire this character's commitment to the 90s.
Yes.
Like the dream of the 90s is alive in Ruben. Dave walked the room and he's like, why does that guy look like that? And I said, because I think he's a goo-goo doll. Like the hair, the whole, everything. He is rocking that retro thing and pushing it as hard as it's going to go. And he and Sam, I think, have much more rapport than Sam and his ostensible romantic lead. That's all I got.
I want to be clear. I didn't say the two leads had chemistry. I thought the two leads were both charismatic. So they both were, like, I think...
Just not with each other.
No, not with each other. But in other movies, I think they could work, like they could do a good job if the material was better. So there's that.
I got feels because the snowball effect's a real thing, and I love that there was somebody that found out about it and said, what if?
Movie time.
What if I write a movie? And it happens. And anytime a title of a movie is worked into the conversation of a movie, I'm here for that. It gives me real happy feels.
Yeah.
Dan?
Yeah. Even when these movies are terrible, sometimes I'll find something that'll like remind me of my wife or my kids or like a story, and it will give me feels. That did not happen in this movie.
All right. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with the Wait What and the What here on Dynamite.
Pick the Hallmark.
Hey there, hi there. Welcome back. We're talking about the snowball effects, and it is time for the Wait What, is where we talk about what in this movie made us go, wait, what? And I will start with Alonso.
Well, Rig is on strike, and it is part of what I like to call hot labor summer. You have the Writers Guild and SAG-AFTRA on strike. You had the UPS drivers getting a new contract. You've got the flight attendants striking, and possibly the UAW and possibly Kaiser Permanente workers. I think this is a moment where people are really beginning to understand their worth. That said, getting a 2:40 a.m. phone call from a prospective boss,
No.
That's where I peace out.
That's right.
No.
Yeah. No.
I already know I don't want to work with you.
Yeah.
Please, as they say, take this job and shove it. But no, she wants it all the more. There is a major once in a lifetime weather event happening.
Yes.
And the weather people have left town.
Here we go.
100%.
That's right.
I just went through Hurricane Hillary here in Southern California. I've never watched the Weather Channel more in my life, and every local station was like the entire news, like they were interrupting shows. It was all like Johnny Mountain was standing in front of that radar thing for hours on end, and this was like the moment he was born for.
This is the type of weather when a weatherman takes off his suit jacket and is wearing.
That's right.
You know it's serious when he's got the sleeves rolled up. I'm going to be here all night.
That's right.
They love that stuff.
It's like Steve Kornacki on election night. Like he took a 45-minute air mattress, nap in the break room, and he's back at it.
They stop being polite and they start getting real.
So
that the fact that the two of these are like gonna be off on the road somewhere, I'm sure the stations were like, if not now, when? I wrote down listless carolers. I have never seen less committed caroling. Like they literally just grabbed these people off the street and said, "Here's $5, sing a Christmas carol." They could not be less into it. And then there's the one black caroler who I think, apart from visiting Sam, might be the one black person in this entire town.
Movie. Yep.
Who they keep cutting to like she's going to do this solo. And in another movie, that's the moment where like, oh my God, you're an amazing singer. And how did we never know this?
Not in this movie.
Not really, no. And she's and she looks really nervous the whole time. And you think, oh, it's going to be a thing where she's got stage fright, but then she gets into it. And but she's always
when
nervous.
Jesus flies.
And the second time she sings, she just gets railroaded by the mayor. The mayor's like, I've heard enough. We wish you a merry. Like the mayor's like, I can't listen to this anymore. You're stealing my solo thunder.
Make it stop. Yeah. Oh my God. There's only room for one star in a Helen Lawson show. I don't know if Mia, the assistant, has a plate in her head like the mom on Pete and Pete, but the Wi-Fi gets better when she comes to town. Like
way better.
They're putting their cell phones in the chandeliers in the hopes of getting a signal, and she's just like on her lappy, like going to town.
And they're uploading video. Like they are really like it's easy data, easy.
Yes. Thumb drives, everything. It's all happening. And then finally, like I think the capper of this movie should have been like, hey, we want to hire you both. You're going to split the salary.
Yeah.
The idea, like, no, suddenly we're going to hire two of you because your rapport is just so off the charts, as viewers of this film will no doubt have noticed by now. That was just like the cherry of bonkers.
That's a little bit of my what's up, but I do want to know the Northeast News is just budgets. Like to just be like, there's no way we can go without both of these. So
he did say he'd have to get approval. So,
but like
the board.
And when you see them, the job they're doing is the job of one weather person. Like it's not. You don't need it. Like this is a luxury hire for sure.
It's like we really want patter.
I will say it would be really great to have that during a big event such as the Snowball effect.
Yes.
If you can have two that are going back and forth.
There's always a second map.
Yeah, there's always a second map
during the election. Yeah.
Sure.
The map's 100%. Never not manned. Yeah. There's someone
the undeclared
there.
Counties.
That's right. Yeah.
I got a couple. One, at the beginning of this movie, she does her little weather thing, and she walks off, and she keeps saying thank you to people, but no one is saying good job.
That's right, yeah.
No one's like good. She's just like, thank you, thank you, thank you.
It's like Anchorman when he finishes and he says the F word on TV, and he's like, nice job, sharp job, great broadcast, and everyone's like, no one says a word.
No one.
Why is she doing that?
Love
she's
that.
thanking the crew.
That's right.
She's expressing gratitude.
Yeah,
thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The snow's offensive. At the end, they do kick Santa out of his sleigh so that they can have a conversation, which I just think is a bold move.
Get out of here.
It's like going up to a mall Santa and being like, out of there. We're going to have a real heart-to-heart here. We got to sit on your throne.
Yeah.
They do their joints. Weather hits, and then they look over while still on TV and give thumbs up to her friend. And they're on TV. They're in the middle of a thing.
That's right. I know we can't see what's behind them, just a blue screen, but they're on TV.
They're on TV.
The thumbs up instead of saying thank you.
But last but not least, she multiple times in this movie forecasts the weather to the minute.
Yep.
She says the snow's going to start at...
Oh, here we go with weather nerd Brian over here.
2:33. No weather person in their right mind is bold enough to do that unless you are standing in front of the super Doppler.
That's right.
Which we have.
We have the super Doppler.
And
here.
you can pull it and it'll be like, here's where it's probably going to be at this point. This is a bold move to be like, the snow is going to start at exactly this minute. Very bold. No one would do it.
I've got 20 minutes.
But yeah, she's been better than all of us.
Vegas odd makers of weather here.
If there's one thing we all know, it's that weather is always exactly what you think it's going to do. Yeah. You see it and you're like, oh yeah, I know exactly what's going to happen. Utterly it never changes. Dan.
Yeah, 3 big ones. Number one, there's all these people applying for this job for Northeast News, and what he needs for these 2 folks is not to interview them to see how they would work in the workplace or what kind of personality they have or what their salary demands are. He needs more video of them. All he has is video of them. He has more video than he knows what to do with, but if you could give me 5 more minutes on tape, that would be great.
And doesn't he say because he wants to make sure they know, like they have good weather chops?
And here's the thing is the assignment he gives them in lieu of an interview is not meteorology. It's journalism. He asked them to go and do a fluff piece on a town. It is weather adjacent. There's a question of weather in this video that they do. None of it would distinguish you as the next weatherman or weatherwoman for Northeast News, and it's absurd to me that they're stuck in this town. The Mistletoe Inn is the Bates Motel. It is, no one's there. It's real shady. There's one place left. It's upstairs. Like, there's a lot. They're going to get murdered. And then it's like, you got this job, but I don't need to interview you. Heaven forbid we learn about who you are and what you're like as a worker and what your strengths and weaknesses are. I just need more video of you doing things that aren't the weather.
I suspect that the screenwriter's only idea of what a weather person does is based entirely on the movie Groundhog Day.
Yeah. Well, that's fair. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Which on holidays, all bets are off.
Yeah, you come in and you give a big eloquent speech at the end, right? That's what they do.
Another big one is I can't. The only message I could get from this movie is family is just not very important. Like throughout the movie, every character in this movie bails on their family at Christmas time, without exception. There's no one who is with their family. No one is with any sort of like remnant of like, this is my grandma or my mom and dad or my husband or wife or spouse or kids. No one, all movie long, is with their family on Christmas.
Even the townies.
No one is. They all bail, and then they even mention it. It's not like they try to just sneak it past you. They mention it. Like, oh no, my mom, I told her I was coming home and I just didn't. And her assistant's like, I took care of it, don't worry. And then this last one, I listened to it twice, this line of dialogue, and then I was here in time to hear it a third time. And if you could help me out, and maybe it's right in front of my face and I just can't see it, but she has an assistant that decides unilaterally, I'm going to take both of their footages and I'm going to just combine them and make one report together because these two work better together than they did apart. And she sends it like that and she doesn't apologize. And that's fine. When they're like, what did you do? The assistant says this line. She says, when I saw what you two did together, it was like nothing I'd ever seen or anyone has ever seen or done before. I listened to this 3 times. Give it to me again. Give it to me. I listened to this 3 times. When I saw what you two did together, it was like nothing I'd ever seen or anyone has ever seen or done before.
Also, she wouldn't miss the Santa basketball game for anything else.
But that line, you could be like, at the end of the day, it's poorly written, but it's hyperbole. Is she saying what she saw in this video, a better feat than anything anyone has ever seen? Like if you saw the Titanic going into the ocean from a life raft, it does not hold a candle to these two doing a joint weather report. She said,
triples down.
She says, when I saw what you two did together,
continuum.
it was like nothing I'd ever seen or anyone has ever seen or done before. What is she talking about?
In the history of everything.
You could just say it's the most amazing thing I've ever seen. That's all you have to say. It was better than anything I have ever seen or
anyone.
I took a poll of everyone and this was better.
Hey, Neil Armstrong. I got bad news.
Neil
You've
is
been
like
one-upped.
stepping the first step on the moon from his lunar rover, and he's like,
hold my tag.
One day there's going to be a joint weather report.
It's going to be unlike anything I've ever seen or you've ever
or
seen.
done.
That's ever any
Sheesh. That's all I got.
It's time for What's Up. It's where we wonder what could have been. Maybe I get some clarity questions we'll have. Alonso, what are you still wondering about?
Well, this is one that I come to with some frequency, but I'm always dubious at these movies where people have fallen in love after a very short amount of time, and then on top of it, launch a business together. Like this is nothing but a sea of red flags for me. So the idea that within 6 months, people aren't going to be tuning into Northeast News just for the Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf of it all, of the two of them like being really annoyed with each other and like passive aggressively sniping at each other during the weather. That's going to become the draw, because I don't sense that this is going to be an always and forever kind of arrangement, because really I think he should have wound up with, the Goo Goo Doll.
Yeah.
You know Who's Afraid of Virginia. If you know that reference for sure.
This movie takes place in a town that used to do Christmas big. And by used to, I mean 2 years.
2 years.
It's been 2 years. It's been two.
I thought you were going to bring it up the way it was. I honestly did.
But the hallmark is just like why? Why of all of the amount of times that you could have chosen, did we land on 2 years? Because it just doesn't seem long enough for everybody to have said, no, we're not going to do it. Like
anything that there's a consensus on 2 years ago typically doesn't have enough.
It doesn't. It's not enough
It would
momentum.
wind down. It wouldn't just end.
We're still working through it. I don't know. It just seemed like they wanted us to be impressed and excited. Instead, I was just like, that's it.
I mean, add a 1.
2 years, that's it.
Add a 1. 12 years. 12 years.
20. Sure. I don't know anything really.
22 years. 32. Whatever it may be. Better than that.
2.
I did start my What's Up earlier, but when times get tough, when the next financial crisis hits, I want to know which one of those two gets fired. From the meteorology job at Northeast News, because one of them's going.
We wouldn't hope that on anybody, though.
No, we don't want it for anybody. But at some point, somebody in charge is going to be like, "Why are we paying two weather people to do one job?" And they're going to fire one of them. And what kind of tension is that going to cause in the relationship? This is a mess. The solution here is a problem. It's not a solution. And so I would like to skip ahead. I don't want a sequel. Please hear what I'm saying, not what I'm not saying. But if I had to ask a question, that would be the question I'm asking.
Yeah.
They've got the same seniority, too.
Yeah.
Jesus. So you know how you rose from the dead? 2 people are doing weather. It is unlike anything I've ever seen, or anyone has ever seen, or ever done.
That's right. Yeah, there were how many that watched him rise into the heavens? Had they lived in a time where
these 2 people do weather? They had not.
There were these 2 people did weather together. Anyone
blow their freaking minds.
Has ever seen. Like that Man on Wire documentary doesn't hold a candle. Listen, doesn't hold a candle to these 2 folks doing weather.
Only reason they were looking up is because there weren't 2 other people to look at. That's the only reason. We did it, everybody. We're back next week. We're heading over to AMC Plus for, what is it? something
Saving
Christmas Spirit.
Well, we'll know after we watch it.
We will. Sure. Saving Christmas Spirit. Can't wait for that. Until then, maybe we're the first to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Almighty, man. Deck the Hallmark is a Bramble Jam podcast. It's produced by Aaron Shea. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.